I rather socialism than extreme republicanism. Definitely. I believe all humans are equal, and then
move
here
back
they're
to
trying to tell us that
Venezuela
humans
because you
aren't equal.
turn this country into Venezuela. Well, welcome back, Patriots. So, gonna have some fun with this one. This is what I have on the message board. Question of the day is: can you pass the Democratic Hypocrisy Test? So we got a few bites on this one. I'm going to do it in segments. The first two are pass with flying colors, and the last couple, I shouldn't even call him a couple because you got the silent cuck that's with her, doesn't say a peep. She just failed me. She was from Venezuela, originally from Venezuela. And amazingly, didn't learn a damn thing from being there. I can imagine she left as a very young child because she's well indoctrinated into the socialist bullshit here and listening to the wrong people. So anyway, you know what you do. If you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. And of course, subscribe if you haven't. Resubscribe if you have. And then you go get to support me. Go to my shop and get one of my designs, please. And or sign up at Subscribestar and become a patron. Need some of that to go on. So I want to thank you. Let's get to this one because it's a long clip, and I'll see you on the flip end.
No.
No.
But we're going to be objective with administering the test.
Oh, that's good. That's well, that all anyone could ever ask for. Where are you from?
Does this have to do with the test?
No, I'm just waiting for the cameras. You know, what do you do up there? What are you doing?
I work for the Fed.
For the Fed?
I do.
You saw my Fed sticker?
Cut off the head of the Fed. Sure. We'll eliminate all of Title 10, which is the military. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, well we don't.
Oh well, why would we? Why would we?
But there isn't a thing that the Fed pays for.
Let's go
That's a whole nother.
with the hypocrisy.
That's all right. We got liberals that have transvestites.
I carry around for my wife. I'm that in touch with my manhood. I'm that in touch. Just so you know.
I can see why you're married to this guy. There's 20,000 comedians out of work. You got him, right?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
He's wearing this and calling me a comedian.
You're both comedians.
What is wrong with this?
What is wrong with? I'm still trying to find the question.
All right. Well, you've got liberals.
We have no question.
You've got transvestites lecturing us on moralism. You've got abortionists.
No question.
You got abortionists lecturing us on human rights. Right, and you've got socialists lecturing us on economics.
No question. This is amazing.
So is that hypocrisy?
Okay.
I'm the one that asked the question, honey. I'm the one that asked the question.
Is that hypocrisy?
So, is that the question?
Is that hypocrisy? If you have socialists,
is that the question?
If
that's a question, may I answer?
Sure.
If you don't think, you're wiser than me because you're older than me, if you don't think at this point that life is so absurd that illustrating the absurd with absurdity, whether you're Rush Limbaugh, Tucker Carlson, W.F. Buckley, whoever you want to be, if you don't think that illustrating the absurd with absurdity, and if you want to take it all the way back to Solomon, the wisest man on earth, from the Proverbs, what was his fault? Pussy. If you really don't think that we're all hypocrites, dude, okay, so there you go. So I can pass or fail the hypocrisy test, and it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the same enlistment I took, and you know, my stance is, in North Korea, they don't have a choice. Here, we got a choice.
Indeed.
So I don't give a shit at the end of the day. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't like... I travel the world, I go to all kinds of different continents, and I see how other people act, and I think that counts, just like I think how you count.
Yes.
So it counts how people think and view of other people. So at the end of the day, I'm the biggest hypocrite in the room, and that's what gives me a license to be just an asshole.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So how is
Welcome
that
to my
for
world.
answering
Welcome
your
to my
question?
world. I appreciate you.
All right.
And here's
this is my better half, Darlene.
hello, Darlene. And here's
And she's much more level-headed than I.
And here's a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton for you.
Okay.
Which
very
is good for any crime in the world.
Let me try to think.
That's Donald.
Let me try to think if I've ever broken the law before. Yes. And you know what's really interesting about breaking the law? All you got to do is say, yeah, I broke the law. I broke the law.
Well, there has been studies that say every time you walk out the door, on average, you break about 40 laws a day. Yeah.
Right. Laws. You know what
Just
my dad
by,
used to tell me?
Jaywalking.
He's still alive. You know what my dad used to tell me? He told me this in 1985. I think it was around April. He said, Andy, laws are for sucks. They're for sucks. I don't want anything to do with law. Fuck Caesar. I give to who I want to. It was nice talking.
All right, sir. Thanks a lot.
Did I pass the test?
Oh, yeah, I think you passed it all, yes.
Where did you go? I passed the test.
I can't fail him. I don't know how to do that with him.
I feel like I'm going to pass. We're flying colors.
Well, the liberal or the Democratic Hypocrisy Test.
Yes.
We have socialists lecturing us on economics. Do you find that to be hypocritical?
I do. We have people like AOC and Bernie Sanders and generally dumb fucks, right? Trying to tell me what about a system that's failed worldwide. It's never made it.
There you go. You got. All right. We have transvestites lecturing us on morals. Do you find that being hypocritical?
I find it morally offensive.
Yes.
Someone telling me what's good for me, right? My moral compass usually points to the north, right? And these crackhead pieces of shit, no dick having bastards, right? I could go on and on, but yeah, it's disgusting.
So far, he's doing very good. He's doing very good. All right. All right, last question. We have abortionists lecturing us on human rights. Do you find that hypocritical?
I absolutely do. You're going to tell, so there's an example to that one, you're going to tell me what's good for everybody else in the world, but you're killing people. You're killing them. So how's that? You're here and you're here. There's a middle ground. There's a middle ground. So you're standing up here, but you're telling me this is bad. In all actuality, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm just very outspoken. These fucking Democrats need to knock them in the head with a pipe.
That's coming. Well, here's a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton. You've earned that. It's good for any crime in the world, as you know.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I love it.
Check out my YouTube channel on the back. You'll see my encounters that I have out here, as you can imagine. Someone can get.
I will absolutely be subscribing to this channel because this is my shit.
And you can get a lot of my designs on apparel, and they come with a trigger back guarantee. If you do not trigger a liberal, you will get your money back.
Nice.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
And yourself?
Like to stand up.
Oh, would you like to take the Democrat
Yeah, I do,
Hypocrisy
actually.
Test? You do?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And where are you from?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Born there. I was born in Caracas.
I'm from Barquisimeto, Venezuela. Interesting. A fellow Venezuelan.
Are you still living there?
No, I live in Miami.
There's a lot of bad things happening in Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah, it's horrible. It's really bad.
Socialism has really messed that place up.
It's terrible. It was the richest country in South America about
Yes,
30
it
years
was.
ago. And now it's one of the poorest.
You've got
Beaches.
everything, but the politics, the socialism messed it up. So how do you lean now? I mean, how do you lean?
I'm a Democrat. I am a liberal.
Well, it seems to me that's kind of contradiction coming from Venezuela because it's just that policy.
I mean, no, a lot of Venezuelans are Republicans.
Yeah, but
A lot
it's
of
just
them.
that policy that messed up Venezuela.
Well, socialism is still Venezuela.
Well, you can hardly separate Democrats from socialism today. I mean, when you got a Bernie Sanders as a front runner.
Okay, that's a different story. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. He's not very democratic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
I'm not for Bernie.
Much of the Democratic Party right now are hardcore socialists.
No, I agree. I mean, there's not really any great candidates right now for the Democratic Party.
No, and understanding it, I'm trying to, understand this, because you see, when I was young, I was a liberal Democrat. But it was all about being against the war and free speech back then. Mm-hmm. But now I've noticed that everything has shifted, where the Democrats have gone so far left that they're stopping free speech. I mean, when you got riots in Berkeley stopping people from speaking, there's something wrong with that. When you've got Democrats, or the social media networks that are basically very liberal, taking down conservative websites just because of their political views, there's something wrong with that.
I agree, we do have freedom of speech, but when you start intriguing to someone else's rights, that's when it's not okay.
Well, how's that? What are you talking about?
Freedom of speech. So we deserve it. You can have any websites, but when you start disrespecting other people and their cultures and what they're about, then that's...
Wait a second. When you say, you're contradicting yourself. When you say freedom of speech, that means you have the right to insult or offend somebody.
Yes.
So you have that's freedom of speech. You have the right. There's nothing in the Constitution about your feelings, young lady. Nothing. Your feelings don't mean shit to a tree when it comes to anything. I mean, you may feel offended, but that's your personal right.
Of course,
you feel offended, but there's nothing in the law that says you can stop somebody from offending you.
But when it's the president of the United States, that's when it's a problem. When it's the president of the United States saying all these things
that was offensive?
Come on. We're talking about Donald Trump here.
Give me an example.
Grab her by the pussy.
He said that way before he was president, and that was in the...
doesn't matter, that's still...
Wait. It was in the context of it. They were in a talk in between takes, and he just said, look, and this is how it was said. I mean, he didn't say you go up and grab women's pussies. He says, when you're a billionaire, when you're a powerful person, and you're at these parties, you can do anything you want. Women won't allow you to do this stuff. Now, if you've ever been, and I have, to parties where powerful people are, there are women there that are basically prostituting themselves, would like to be enamored by the men, and will allow them to do anything they want. So we're talking, but it's consensual. These women are allowing it to happen. It's fine with them.
But when it's the president...
But that, again, it was before he was president here.
He has an image for this country.
It was before he was president.
I've traveled all over Europe, and everyone makes fun of the United States at this point because of him, because he's a clown.
Not the foreigners I'm speaking to. You're generalizing in your own little box. You're talking to your own little echo chamber. I'm talking to everybody out here. I'm willing to speak to anybody.
I know you are.
So,
I am.
And because of that, I get to speak to a lot of people from around the world that love this man. I just spoke to an Israeli couple who love this man. So, I spoke to a lot of Latinos that love this man.
Oh, Cubans love Trump.
Yeah, because they came from communism, and they know what socialism and communism does to you. So they recognize the freedoms that this country gives. This man has stopped the socialist march because, in essence, this is what was happening here. Let me give you a little 101, okay?
Okay.
All right. There has been a movement by the elites of this world to eviscerate nation states, to bring them down. They didn't want a strong nation state of Venezuela. They wanted to bring it down. Okay. Now, there's a reason for this. Globalization is something that's come into our lexicon in the past, let's say, decade. Before that, it didn't you ever heard of it. Globalization, of course, is about multinational companies, and They have no respect for nationalities or people. They respect money and power.
Just money.
Yeah. So these multi-elite conglomerates would like to tear down nation states. Now, there's something called Cloward and Piven. 1964, two political scientists were asked, if you were going to bring down Western civilization, the strong Western countries, how would you do it? They said, well, you can't do it militarily because they're very strong. So what you do is this. You infiltrate their military with socialist or globalist, and you start little brush fire wars everywhere. And you create a bunch of refugees. Then you play on the guilt of the host countries that started those wars. And you open up your borders to them. And you allow these people to flood in. And then you overwhelm the welfare system from the inside, and you bring down these countries economically.
Are you saying that's what these countries are doing to the United
That's exactly
States right
what they're doing. Exactly what they do in Europe. It's exactly what they're doing to us here with the open border.
You don't think it's more than that? I'm from Venezuela, and I have so many families and friends that they're not here to infiltrate or take power. They're here for simply a better life, simply better opportunities.
It's not. You understand? They're not. There's no fault to them. They're just the victims of it. In other words, they're the useful pawns. They're not. Yeah, they're coming for a better life. But why shouldn't you have the better life in Venezuela? Why shouldn't you get rid of that government and go back to the way you used?
Easy? Do you think
nothing in life is easy that's worthwhile? But they took away your guns. That's why you can't do anything. Here we have our guns, and we're not going to allow it to happen. That's what, again, the powers that be, like they're doing here, trying to take away our guns so that we can't fight back.
We're not trying to take away guns. Let me get that clear. We want gun control. We don't want people to just be able to go into any store, people without even a carrier's license, people who have
Again, you're listening to bullshit. Nobody can just walk into a store and buy a gun.
What? I literally had someone tell me today how here in Louisiana
you have to sign.
You have a license.
You have to get clearance. If I go to buy a gun, I have to sign a paper. Then they run it through the process to make sure I'm not mentally ill, I'm not a convict, and then it's like a 3-day waiting list. And I go back and buy the gun. So it's not as easy as you say it is. So it's not that, and beside that, this whole bullshit about gun control was not originally in the Constitution to begin with. We are supposed to have as much military as we want as militia states. The states were supposed to have all the rights, not the federal government. The federal government is never supposed to be more powerful than the states. So now that you have a powerful central government, which is exactly what the elitists want, to form a one world government, to bring this country down to its knees, because we are the last standing shining armor. And if they can bring us down, which they are doing now with open borders, by coming in and overwhelming our welfare system and bringing this country down from the inside, they got us. And if they can take away our guns, they really got us. And then we turn into Venezuela.
That's fact. Yeah. Talk about North Korea. Speak out North Korea, because they only have guns in the military, they put a bullet in your head.
But you see other countries like Switzerland where only cops have guns and there's no.
That's not true. In Switzerland, the citizens have guns in Switzerland.
Is that okay? There needs to be some action taken. You cannot let. Do you know how many young
more mental
children?
Health
I agree.
Evaluation.
I agree.
But gun control.
I never said gun ban.
Right,
I never said gun ban. I said gun control.
Not guns, but mental health.
Because I do believe I want a gun for myself. I want to protect myself.
You need to have a whole lot of things for
Perfect. I'll do a bunch of screenings.
That's right. But to take somebody's gun.
They never, when there's a mass shooting,
being able to protect ourselves from the government at the very least.
Thank you. When there's a mass shooting, they never talk about the pharmaceutical companies and the drugs those people are on.
I mean, it's right. I mean, I don't believe in taking guns, but I believe it needs to be monitored more for mental health.
The Parkland shooting, that's very familiar to me because I live so close to it. And that's not okay. fact that a bunch of kids are dying because one crazy kid got his hands on a gun.
Then why not arm
And
the teachers?
amount of kids
Why not arm the teachers?
arm the teachers. I had a crazy security guard. I had crazy teachers that they could get mad at me and shoot me up.
No.
Crazy
You
army
you
teachers,
put
that's
them
the
through the
solution.
classes and you arm the teachers. There are a lot of
Army
teachers that are
teachers?
ex-military and ex-police. They
How
know
many
guns.
arms? How many arms? You're gonna give a teacher a gun?
Yes,
That's
why
the
not?
solution?
Why not?
Because there's crazy teachers. I've had
Oh, wait a
crazy
second.
te- I had a
You don't
security
give
guard
them
that
the
went to
guns.
jail. We had a crazy security guard.
So in other
Security guards are
words,
supposed
so
to get guns.
you're the arbitrator of who should have a gun or not.
Yes.
Oh, you
I
are?
believe- I
So you're
believe
an authoritarian.
I believe there definitely has to be a limit as to who can get a gun. Not anyone.
Well,
can
why
go
not?
Up until get a
Why
freaking
not
gun.
have a half dozen sane teachers in the school with guns?
Because those same teachers at any moment can flip the switch. Like, you're dealing with children, and what if they don't
You
get
have
their
no
gun or
trust in
children-
human nature whatsoever.
After
You
all
want to
I've
be
seen-
the
after all I've
authoritarian.
seen, I
You
definitely
want
do
the
not have
authorities to only be the only ones that have the guns. You're an authoritarian
I definitely do not believe anyone should just get their hands on guns. And
because you're an authoritarian.
I guess if that's what you want to call it. I believe.
Then you might as well move back to Venezuela and live your life there, because you'll be under authoritarian rule down there, and that's what you want.
But we're in the United States. We're not talking about Venezuela. There's so much.
But that's what
We're
they
in one of the
want to
richest
do
countries
here.
in the
If
world.
they follow your dictate, we will turn into
Well,
Venezuela.
that's like extremists. You're not talking about like there's one extreme and there's another extreme and there's a happy middle.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
the happy
we
middle.
like to, we're leading.
But the
towards
left here
extremes.
doesn't want happy middle anymore. They're talking
We're
about
talking
taking
about the
away our
extremists.
guns.
There's I'm a liberal, but I definitely agree that there's too liberal and that they're doing crazy things, socialist almost. I'm not there. I agree that like.
But
I said,
who's
there's
at the
a
head
middle.
of the Democratic Party now of those extremes? The Cortez is running the party. It isn't, Pelosi. Cortez is the one that's leading the way. You got Bernie Sanders up there. I mean, Bernie Sanders would have had, if Hillary hadn't stolen it, he would have had the nomination. He would have it now if they weren't projecting
I don't
Joe
even like
Biden.
Bernie, but if you ask me, Bernie or Trump, Bernie it is.
Again, so you're
I rather socialism than extreme republicanism. Definitely, I believe all humans
So
are
again,
equal, and then
move
here they're
back to
trying tell us that
Venezuela
humans
because you
aren't equal.
turn this country into Venezuela if you put Bernie Sanders in. If you look at Bernie Sanders' platform, he took it right out of Red China's Red Book. It's right out of Mao. It's word for word. And that's what you want.
It's agree to disagree.
Good luck with it, darling, because as long as you give up your guns and we got ours, you ain't got a chance. So what'd you think of that? What'd you think of that?
I just want peace.
Well, of course, we all want peace. It's how do
Stop
you
the
achieve
killing.
it?
You know, it should be like everything shouldn't end with violence. You get what I'm saying? It's laws are in place to supposed to help the community, not take from the community or harm the community. So when people say this person can have a gun but this person can't, or this person can do this and this person can't, you're taking rights or you're dictating who you want to do what you want to do. So therefore, is this because I can get a gun and this person can't?
Thank you.
Like,
Who's going to make that
everybody-
judgment?
Right now, the judgments of they're making is harming the country versus than helping the country, I feel, because when I was growing up, I tell you about when I was growing up, it wasn't this much killing, it wasn't this much hatred, it wasn't this much like you gotta be in this type thing. It was love, it was peace, it was helping one another, it was morals. You know, it's like everybody then took that and got rid of it and said, well, because I'm the president or I'm this, I'm going to make it my way or I'm going to do it this how I want to do it. Forget everything that we stood for, fought for to get to where we are. It's like all those things are going out the window.
Now, I don't know where you came in on the conversation, but, you know, you're saying exactly what I was saying in the sense that the powers that be want this. They want to keep us apart, and so they put in programs to, you know, like, let me give you this. When I was growing up back in the 50s and 60s, right, there was racism.
Yes.
There was institutional racism.
Yes.
I think you correct me if I'm wrong here, because I mean, you know, I noticed you're black.
Yeah. What is that color. I look at it as we all equal.
Well, thank you. But that
statistically,
institutional racism seems to be
programming.
It's gone. You know, I mean, it's gone. Yeah, there are individual races. You're going to find a racist cop here, and you're going to find a racist person there, and that, and other. But we don't have like the Ku Klux Klan running things anymore.
Right.
Or, you know, we don't have people keeping, you can, you know, sit at the back of the bus or different fountains and all that stuff. We don't have that anymore.
Right.
But there is one party right now that constantly brings up race.
Yeah. And it's sad. Because everybody just want to live.
They want to keep that division alive, you know, like, ooh, yeah, you know, they want to keep that.
Yeah.
You don't experience that anymore, do you?
I have experienced, like, sometimes, like, I was going to the grocery store and this lady, she actually, like, ran to her car and, like, locked the door, and I was like,
that's an individual.
Yeah,
you know, again.
It hurt my feelings. And like, oh my goodness. But then I think you never know the experience a person has or how people was brought up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just take it as some people are either not educated or they don't know. You know, they just look at it as, you know.
That's one individual that had a bad, you know, that's an idiot.
We see this particular race because you're this particular race. You're going to harm me, hurt me, or whatever the case may be. So.
Yeah, and you see, that young lady, I feel, is, you know, she's listening to that echo chamber. She's listening to that. Because just because you put a gun in somebody's hand, anger or the snap of a moment or you blank or whatever, if you're in a heated conversation, you may use that to do something you don't regret doing later. So everybody, just because you think you need a gun just to, you know, safety or to protect yourself, I can see that. But if you get to arguing, the first thing, what you going to run to a gun? No. You know, that'd be the last thing that most people would do.
Right.
You get
I can't get out this one.
All right, Holly.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So what'd you think of that one, huh? So there's some more fun ones coming with this question. So, you know what you do. If you like it, you like it. If you care, you share it. If you can contribute. So I want to thank you for stopping by. God bless you. And we see you on the streets.